Right, all right, all right. I think we're on. Think we are. I think we are. Good evening, Magic Plus, and everybody else who's here to support the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight on our first ever live stream. Hopefully this is working. Give me a shout out in the chat. Make sure this is working. I think I'm on. Never done this before, so you're going to hear me do a lot of nervous laughing and things like that throughout this one. Sorry about that. It's not that I edit that out of the video as much. I just, for some reason, I'm a little more comfortable with the video than I am with the idea of being actually live. So, anyways, just making sure that I'm actually, visible, because if I'm not, I'm gonna have to figure out why not and fix that really, really quick. But I think I'm good. Anywho, um, you'll notice a few things. Awesome. Thank you, Snoop. You'll notice Kaiba is on the Kaiba cam upstairs. I don't know why, but like 5 minutes before we were about to start, Kaiba decided, nope, I'm not having it. I'm thinking it might partially be because of the walk we just took at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's a little warm out there, so I didn't want to take him too long, but I did want to get him out because his usual walk time lately has been between like 9 and 10, and I figured we'll still be streaming hopefully at that time. I'm hoping to go like a couple hours. We'll see how it goes. But for now, my plan, like I say, is just to go until, we'll see how it goes, how comfortable we are with this and such. But like I say, unfortunately, Kyla just, he's whooped. That is much comfier. This is true. And he also wanted a meat stick. He knows his treats are upstairs, so he got one of those. He had a little bit of the pizza earlier, but he didn't really seem super into it tonight, so oh well. Um, Anywho, my plan for the evening is to do a few things. I have this lovely Ziploc baggie full of papers with all the names of all the packs in the bag beneath my feet or beside my feet here. And what I figured we'll do is we'll pull a few out at a time. We'll open some packs, and in between we can do some Q&A. For people who are interested, if you are interested, give me a shout out in the comments. Let me know. I can do some arena codes with you guys too. I don't play arena, so I'm happy to just give those away. I also have my sacrifice deck that I've been talking about in some of the videos happens to actually be an Outlaws of Thunder Junction build to a certain extent. Not completely, but there's a bunch of cards from that set in here. So I figured we might do a deck profile too. And yeah, so that was my plan for the evening. Um, I was also going to show you a video of Kaiba, but that I took today while we were out on his walk. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to get the camera from upstairs. Which, if Kaiba wakes up and decides to come down, I'll definitely grab that and we'll take a look at that too at some point. And if he wants to go outside, then you'll see him play with some bubbles probably too later on. But otherwise, it'll just be some card stuff tonight, unfortunately, and a shot of Kaiba at least live, but he doesn't look very live, does he? All right. I'm gonna pull the first paper. Let's just do this randomly. First pack is Kaldheim. All right, we're going to crack a Kaldheim pack. That's actually really cool because this is one of the sets I was really interested in opening. I've heard there are some interesting things in here, and it includes like possibly some snow stuff, which would be neat. Don't know if it has actually snow lands in it because I didn't Google a lot of this stuff ahead of time, or as you know, I don't like to check out price packs too early because I find that that kind of wrecks things. So I just like opening for the fun of it, and we'll enjoy. Can we get a recap of the packs again? Sure. Yes. No problem. Before I open, I can do that. I have Throne of Eldraine. I have Core 2021, Zendikar Rising, the Kaldheim, Guilds of Ravnica. There's a couple Lord of the Rings packs. We have Original Dominaria. What else we got? We got some Dragon's Maze. I threw in some of the Brothers' War. There should be a couple more things in here. I know there's some Infinity, because I thought that would be funny to open on live. And I know there is one somewhere hidden in here. Commander Masters. So there's a total of 35 packs, and I figure we're going to probably open around 10 to 15 tonight, so the rest can be saved for a potential future live stream. Um, if my dad doesn't come home this week and I get another weekend, maybe I'll do this again next weekend. Probably not going to order pizza and other stuff because, yeah, this has been quite expensive to set everything up, but it's okay. I was really eager to do this for once, and that's what credit cards are for, right? So yeah, so those are the packs that we have for tonight, potentially. The Core 2021, I think, is the only one that's probably not super great. I've never actually opened it before, but it was only it was the cheapest ones. There was only like $4, I think, per pack. So like I assume those ones probably aren't worth a lot value wise. Either that or he has no idea what he had and he was just pricing them insanely low. Anyways, let's open it. Ooh, that opened really crisp and nice. I like that. Okay, I've got to remember to try and keep my arms both on this side of the camera because I figure if I can avoid putting my arm between the camera and the mic, I won't have the incident that we had in the video earlier. So we got a blue bird, and other side? Nope, nothing. Okay, blue bird total. Ooh, we got a shiny art card. Pretty cool. Snow-covered island! Alright, these do have snow-covered. Nice! That's what we're talking about right there. Yes, I can pay it out at the end of the month, no problem. The nice thing is I can pay it out there's like a certain minimum payment of course, and I'm just going to like keep going over the minimum payment so I keep my credit looking good. But yeah, that's the plan. Snow-covered island. Nice. That's probably going to be worth a bit. Maybe. Maybe Kaldheim ones aren't worth as much as the ones from Modern Horizons. Jasper Sentinel. Reach 1/2 Elf Rogue. Tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color. It's not bad. I don't like the fact that you have to do an extra tap to get the mana, but the reach is good. Dusk Wielder. Ooh, that's a nice one. I love that guy, actually. I have a few copies of him already, but solid fun because of the boast. I will definitely put that top. Masked Vandal, Changeling. When this thing enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Ooh, that's interesting. Not bad, not bad. This set's pretty good so far. At least this pack is. Demonic Gifts. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies. Nice. I do love things that bring out back the creatures after they die. Koma's Faithful. Lifelink. When this thing dies, each player mills 3 cards. In the right deck, that's going to be pretty good, but I'm not sure I like the fact that it only has 1 toughness. I'm going to admit that one. Death Knell Berserker. When this thing dies, if its power was 3 or greater, get a 2/2 black zombie berserker creature token. Okay, so you only have to pump it by 1. That's not bad. There's lots of equipment and other stuff that will pump it up enough for it to be able to trigger that. That's a pretty good card. Elderfang Disciple. Apparently this is an elf set. Holy crow. I think every single creature so far was an elf, wasn't it? Except for the shapeshifter? Yep. And then technically the shapeshifter does count as an elf. Alright, when this thing enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. That's pretty decent. It only costs 2 to put into play a 1-1. I'll take that. Tergrid Shadow, 3 and 2 black. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. You can foretell it. That's not bad. I do like foretelling. That can be beneficial sometimes. I'll put you mid, though, because you cost a lot, even with the foretell. Battle Mammoth. Nice. Elephant. I love elephants. They're actually my favorite animal. So, always happy when I pull an elephant card. Trample 6/5 for 5. Whenever a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability opponent controls, you may draw a card. Nice. And it has foretell. This time I'm going to put that top, though, because elephant. And a giant wizard, Circland Elementalist. As an additional cost to cast a spell, reveal a giant card from your hand or pay 2. When this thing attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand with it. Whoa! Whoa! That's pretty intense, guys! You can cast your instants and sorceries for free just by attacking with this thing? Damn! Oh, there's one more card. But still, damn! That's going top. Skull Ray, Hollow. Target opponent discards 2 cards. If fewer than 2 cards were discarded, you get to draw cards equal to the difference. So ideally, you want to target somebody with nothing in their hand if you want to draw cards, or you target somebody who has a full grip just to make them discard a couple stuff. Either way, decent card. The only downside is its sorcery speed either way. Be nice if it was an instant speed thing. But that's okay. I'm still going to mid you, though. First pack, though. Hey! Welcome, Angel! The doctor is in the house! I was watching the Dr. Angel stream earlier this morning. She had a really good one today. Expedition 33, I believe, is the name of the game. It's a lot of fun, from what I've seen. It's going really well. We pulled a Snowland already, which is pretty cool. I need some of those. We pulled an awesome giant, and we pulled an elephant. All really good hits. Pretty happy. Actually, I'm putting the elephant on top. Elephants rule. All right. Garbage is just going to end up piled up on the floor, and I will pick it up later. So, Dr. Angel, upstairs you've got Kaiba on the bed. He decided to take a nap, just so you know. Hopefully he'll come out later for some fun, but if not, at least we've got a shot of him. Chillin' 4 days. 4-day weekend. Nice. Lucky you, buddy. Is that because you've got a holiday of some sort, or you just managed to get the time off? Stoop. Second pack of the night. Dragon's Maze. Neat. I actually got the last, 3 or 4 packs in the store of Dragon's Maze from the guy. So I'm pretty stoked to see what these have in them. There we go. It's got a cool art card on the or cool art of some sort of creature on the front. Maybe we'll pull that creature. Tuesday, the national holiday in Quebec. Oh, okay. I know where. Okay, I forgot you were in Quebec. It's Jean Baptiste Day or something, isn't it? I used to live there. I remember that. We got a knight with vigilance token. Pretty cool. 2/2. I like the artwork on it. Okay. Bane Alley Blackguard. Just a human rogue. One and a black for 1/3. I'm in the field of procurement, and business is good. The guilds want all kinds of maps and relics these days. Through what they want them for, I'm not quite sure. Not bad flavor text. I'll give you mid because of the flavor text. Demir Cluestone. Ooh, that's neat. Taps for blue and black. Pay blue and black. Tap it, sacrifice it, and draw a card. In a pinch, that's a good save. I'll be top with that. Nice! Vampire! Oh, it has Extort too! Nice! I just finished updating my vampire deck, but that is definitely going in there, and something's gotta come out. I don't know what yet, but this is crazy. Pay two, one and a white and a black for a 2/1 lifelink, and you get to have the extort ability on it, which is insane because my vampire deck loves the whole life gain, life loss thing. So that might be top pull of this pack for me at least. How? Okay, I'm gonna get this probably wrong. I'm gonna say it's Hazda Snare Squad, but it could be Hazda. Anyways, when it attacks, you can pay white. If you do, tap target creature an opponent controls. I don't know how often you're going to attack with a 1/4, to be honest, but that's not bad for an extra ability. We'll put you there for now. Maze Behemoth. Trample, multicolored creatures you control have trample. That's neat. Thank you for popping in, Dr. Angel. I really appreciate the support. You were awesome. Hope you have a great night. All right. Definitely check out Dr. Angel's channel if you get a chance to, Snoop. She plays a lot of games online. She does Twitch and YouTube, but really good stuff. She's very funny. And she wants to bridge the gap between like physical health and gaming, which is really cool as a concept. I like that. Deputy of Acquittals. Blue and white. Flash. When it enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent. I will put you top because you have Flash. Cruel Cluestone. I'm liking these Cluestones. Give you some solid mana, and you get a spare card in a desperate situation. Pretty good. Crypt Incursion. 2 and a black. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life. Ooh. Damn! That's a pretty good pull. That's a common, too. I'm pretty stoked about that. Opal Lake Gatekeepers. When this thing enters the battlefield, if you control 2 or more gates, you may draw a card. Perfect! I'm building a gates deck eventually. So, that will go well. I'm going to mid you, though, because you're only good for the gates deck. This, however, is perfect for the goblin deck I want to build. 1 red, green. Pay 3, this thing gets plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is its power. Nice. And you can do that multiple times in a turn. There's no limit on that one. Cool, you can just beef the crap out of this thing then. The fact that it has a really small butt is the reason why it's going to mid, though. If it had trample, it would be put top, even despite that. Ooh, force walk and protection from green? 2/1, it's a blue-black, but I'll take that. You know what? Even though you have a small butt, I'm going to put you top. Because that's what I'm talking about. Have some cool abilities, not just buff yourself up, but give me something cool. Species Gorger. 3 green blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. 6/6 Frog Beast. Okay. Obsidat's Aid. 3 white black. Return target permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sorcery speed, but still really good. Is that a mythic? I think that's just a rare. I'm gonna go turn on the other light. I think we need some more light in here. Ooh, sorry if that hurts anybody's eyes, but I think that helped a lot. Did that help a lot? Oh yeah, that made things a lot clearer. Oh heck yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's still going top regardless. I was just curious if it was a rare or a mythic. It is a rare. Fatal Fumes. Target creature gets -4/-2 until end of turn. Instant speed, but it costs 4. It is hollow though. C. Flavor text. Travelers in the Undercity dread the horrors and assassins of the Dimir, but nearly as many die from more mundane hazards. Okay, flavor text saves you. You go top. Ooh, Simic Gate. Pretty one, too. Look at the artwork on that one. That is so good. Nice. All right. Top card of that pack still, despite all those really cool things, I'm really happy with the Tithe Drinker. I think that is the best pull in that pack. So, yeah, we're going to put that there. Put this up here. Do a couple more packs, see if anybody comes in, and then maybe we'll do some codes or something. Who knows? See how we feel. I'm actually doing this through OBS. I think that's the easiest way for me to do it, and then link it into YouTube. So I don't actually know precisely things like how many people are watching right now, for example, or anything like that. I do have access to the chat because there's an extra thing for OBS that lets me see the chat, so I can respond to that as well if I want to type messages and things. But ultimately, it's not you need to slow roll the pack, else stream will be over in 45 minutes. That's true. I am going pretty quick. I am a little nervous, to be honest. I was never super keen on performing per se. Hey, Steve! Welcome to the stream. How's it going? I have a quick sip of the Coke. But yeah, it's funny because as a teacher, I was always really comfortable in front of the classroom. Like I can get in front of a bunch of kids and I can explain anything in the world to them and never feel nervous about that at all. The moment you put me in a room of adults and get me to try and start explaining things to them, I start breaking a sweat like mad. Making the videos, I guess because I know the audience is watching them later, it's not as nerve-wracking, but this, it's a little nervous. Thank you, Snoop. I'm going to do me. Don't worry. We got our third paper here. Um, Steve, just in case you missed it so far, I'm putting top pulls of each pack that I open on the top of the pack. So my favorite pull in the first Kaldheim pack was this beautiful elephant, and we just finished opening a Dragon's Maze pack, and that Tithe Drinker is pretty cool. So, see what we're opening third. Dominaria, the original. Nice. Okay. Alright, I should know who that is. He's really cool, but I can't remember what his name is for the life of me. I know it's not Jace because I've got Jace. Anyways, let's see. Maybe we'll pull this one. I keep trying to pull the card that's on the pack. I think that'll be the really cool thing. If we can pull the card that's on the pack, I think that would be like really. I like irony. It's kind of my favorite thing. So one of my favorite things. So anything like that always makes me laugh. I know that's not technically irony, but it's close enough. We got a goblin. Nice. More goblin tokens is awesome because yes, that's right. Teferi. Thank you. I do need goblin tokens for the goblin deck I want to build. I'm considering changing the original commander was going to be a red-green commander, but I've been pulling a lot of cool black goblins lately, so I'm tempted to try and get my hands on the. It was played in one of the recent Tolarian Community College games. There's a red, green, and black commander. It's about brothers, and they destroy artifacts, enchantments, and creatures, I believe, depending on what you pay. It's pretty cool. If I had my phone, I would check what that card was right now, but I don't because it's upstairs recording Kevin. And I'm worried that if I switch off the stream, somehow it might close. Nice, we pulled another elephant. Excavation elephant. One and a kicker, one and a white for kicker, but it costs 4 and a white already, so that's pretty expensive for 3/5. When it enters battlefield, if it was kicked, return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, that's pretty cool though. I could get a bunch of artifacts back in my hand if I can pay enough. That's not bad. Yes, Shattergang Brothers. Thank you. Exactly. I think that that would make for an interesting commander. The only other one that's red, green, and black, because I checked this out before the stream, is Squee and Slimefoot, or Slimefoot and Squee, whichever way it goes. And I mean, that's an interesting card, but it's going to build a whole bunch of Saberlings that I don't know whether I want to have Saberlings and Goblins in the deck. I really think I just want to focus mostly on Goblins, so Shattergang Brothers is something I'm looking to pick up. I have a feeling it's going to be really expensive, though, so I might just stick with green-red. Anyways, that's a good pull to start us off. Gitu Chronicler. Okay, that's not bad. Apparently, this set is all about kicker. 1 in a red, plus 3 in a red for kicker. When this thing enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to you. Yeah, okay, again, you're not going to hear me complain about that, though. That's pretty good. There you go, top hole. So far. Pierce the Sky. Instant. Deals 7 damage to target creature with flying. I hate when it only targets a creature with flying. Green does this a lot because they can't handle reach and flying very well, so they get a whole bunch of instants that just destroy creatures with flying. I'm going to bottom it because it doesn't target anything else. If it targeted enchantments or artifacts or something, I might put it mid, but yeah. Cabal Paladin. Whenever you cast a historic spell, this thing deals 2 damage to each opponent. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. Okay, you go top. Even though you have a weak butt, you go top. Homerid Explorer is a Homerid Scout. Okay, what is Homerid? I don't know the lore, so I think Shattergang is like a. Oh, that's neat. Shattergang is cheap? I thought that was going to be an expensive one for sure. Enters the battlefield, target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. I mean, that's not bad. 3/3 for 4. But I'm gonna mid you because I don't know what you are. Homeward spread northward from Sarpadia as the climate cooled, raiding coastal settlements for some. Are they just crabs? Did they get like nerfed at some point and become crabs? Because that would be neat, but I don't know. I'm thinking this is the only time I've ever seen a Homerid, so. Invoke the Divine. 2 and a white, destroy target artifact or enchantment and gain 4 life. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Deathbloom Thallid. Deathbloom Thallid dies, create a 1/1 green Saproling creature token. Cost 3 4 3 2, but that's pretty good too. I need I mean I don't need it, but it'll go in my fungus deck really well. Saproling Migration. Kicker 4, 1 and a green. Create 2 Saprolings. If it was kicked, create 4 instead. You can only do it one time. To be fair, I'm a mid. Eviscerate. My LGS has it for 31 cents. 4 for a sorcery speed, destroy target creature? No thanks. You can go here. Hardic Wanderer. Trample 5/5, 6 cost. Golem? Yeah, that's okay. I'll play that. Wizard's Lightning. Costs 2 less to cast if you control a wizard. Deals 3 damage to any target. Nice. Actually, I like that a lot. Ooh, Memorial to Unity. Enters the battlefield tapped. You get green when you tap it. Pay 2 and a green, sacrifice it. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put a You reveal a creature card from among them, put it in your hand. The rest go to the bottom in a random order. I like the artwork on it. It's pretty cool. Slimefoot, the stowaway! We were just talking about Slimefoot, and having an extra one is always nice. Whenever a sapperling you control dies, this thing deals 1 damage to each opponent, you get a life, and you can pay 4 to create a sapperling. I like this guy a lot, actually. I might build another green-black deck just focused around sapperlings at some point, because the deck that focuses most on sapperlings right now that I do have is the one that does the fungus stuff, which is more. It's a micro tyrant deck, so it's mostly just about like descending and milling and all that other good stuff. So the sapperlings aren't the main focus, they're just extra fodder essentially. You go top. Oath of Teferi! Legendary enchantments. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent you control, return to the battlefield under its own control at the beginning of the next end step. You may activate the loyalty abilities of planewalkers you control. Ooh, nice. I eventually want to build a 5-color planeswalker deck with the what's his name? My brain always does this. Carthalion. The Carthalion that I have, the 5-color planeswalker guy. Since he can be the commander, I'm going to build a 5-color commander deck where I basically have no intention of putting any actual creatures in. It's just going to be all planeswalkers. I think it'll be a lot of fun to play that. You go top. And we got a mountain. Can't complain about the mountain. That was a decent pack for sure. Pulled some pretty cool stuff. I think we're going to have to give it to the Oath to the Fairy, though. You're there to the Slimefoot. Which do you think was the better card in that pack? Slimefoot or Oath of Teferi? I mean, in terms of rarity, it's going to be this one, but I don't know. This is a lot of fun to play as a commander. You guys let me know in the chat which way you vote. I will switch it around if need be. For now, I'm going to leave Oath of Teferi up. All right. Teferi because of Teferi pack. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. That's a fair point. I did want to pull a Teferi. I wanted the Planeswalker, but I'll take the Planeswalker's enchantment. That makes sense. All right, pack number 4. What we got in store? Who knows? Let's see. Unfinity. Time to get crazy. Nice. Maybe we'll pull one of those crazy Unfinity lands. If nothing else, just some more stuff for the eventual Unfinity deck that I also want to build. So many decks to build. So little time. Who am I kidding? I got tons of time. All right, now I think this is one of the ones I wanted to do a pack trick for, but I can't remember. So we're just gonna go with it and see what we got. I know this is the sticker sheet, and so is that one. And then there's gonna be some neat stuff there. So we're just gonna, yeah, go through it from the front and work our way back. Wizards of the Blank. Human Wizard Performer 3/1 for 4, 2 and 2 blue. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield, you may put a name sticker on it. Then look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of unique vowels on that sticker. Put one of those cards in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's not bad. You could get potentially up to 6 cards. Infinity has good lands and a very fog planeswalker? I didn't know that. Oh, it's got Infinity's got the crazy one that you have to look up the abilities online, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, if we pulled that, that would be cool. I would definitely take that. A good day to pie. What I like about the Infinity is the crazy little puns that a lot of the names have. You see that some in some of the sets, like Dustmorn had a lot of punny kind of things, which is cool because it was specifically around like 80s horror stuff and things like that. But I mean, this set has puns for days. Alright, what do you do? Tap two target creatures. Whenever you put a name sticker on a creature, you may return this thing to your hand from the graveyard. Well, that's not bad. It's not bad at all, actually. Why am I putting these up here yet? You go. You can both go here, actually. You're both pretty good. So far, no acorn cards. I guess all the acorn cards must be at the back of this pack. Line Cutter, 3 and a black. When this thing enters battlefield, roll to visit your attraction. Nice. That I do like. Cost 4 for a 3/4, but we need abilities to get us to attractions, so good stuff. Park Map. Pay 1 to put into play, pay 1 to sacrifice it, search your library for a land that doesn't have the same art. Okay, I think I pulled one of these the last time I pulled these packs. It's a pretty cool artifact, for sure. Unfortunately, this is one of the acorn cards, so like I did the last time, unfortunately you guys didn't see the video when I did last time. But I'm gonna sort these into um cards I can actually play legally and acorn cards instead of uh top, middle, bottom for Infinity. Alpha Guard, another one that's going over into the acorn pile. When it enters the battlefield, choose a letter, pay or tap this to untap a target creature card whose name starts with the chosen letter. Whimsy overflow in Sector G. The gremlins are rampaging and the beebles are on fire. Hey, big winner. Has trample as long as you control a stickered permanent. 5/2. I mean, this is one of the ones I would put mid probably because small butt. Goblin Airbrusher. Cool, this is actually legal. 1 in a red. Whenever you place a sticker, create a treasure token. If it's an art sticker, instead create 2 treasure tokens. Nice. Legendary! Monoxo Midway Manager. And it's a playable one. 2 black and red, and it's a vampire. Okay, we're getting really good stuff here for a second. Let's see what you do. Whenever you roll a 3 or higher, this thing gains first strike until end of turn. If it was 4 or higher, it gains menace until end of turn. If it was 5 or higher, it gains lifelink until end of turn. And you can pay 6 to roll a 6-sided die. Well, that's not going in my vampire deck, but that is really cool still, nonetheless. Something legendary, eh? We could definitely build a fun deck around that at some point, somehow, someway. Icing Manipulator, Acorn. 1 in a green for a 1/3. Each +1/+1 counter on a creature you control is also a food token? Isn't Park Map Cap essentially Expedition Map? Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Except it's really weird about the specification in terms of you have to pick a land that doesn't have the same art as a permanent you already control. So basically, if you're one of those people who puts all the same artwork for your lands, you would never be able to play that probably. Me, I like to pick all kinds of different lands. Did I put this on mute? Okay, I was worried for a second there. This I like this mic. I'm going to do a review of it probably eventually because I figure why not do a review of the mic, do a review with a laptop, a couple other things too that I've recently bought. But this mic, the only thing I really do not like about it is how sensitive the mute button is. The mute button's like right on the tip of the mic, and it's one of those things that's like so sensitive that it's like just tap it and it'll immediately go out. But yeah. You're one of those people who puts all the same land in, or you're like me and puts all kinds of crazy different ones. Icing Manipulator. Like I say, it turns all your +1/+1 counters into food tokens. Pay 3 and a green, tap it, roll 2 6-sided dice. For each odd result, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature of your choice. Nice. You can do it at sorcery speed, though, which is a little bit of a bummer, but still. Cool card for an acorn card. Ooh, Trust Chief Engineer. Damn, acorn. Blue and black Voldecan rogue employee. Whenever this thing enters the battlefield or another target creature or another creature dies, put a hack counter on it. Pay 2, tap, remove X hack counters from it, add or subtract X from a number or number word on target spell or permanent until end of turn. This effect can't reduce a number below 1 or a number word below 1. Okay, so you can't kill anything with this. But that is really freaking weird, eh? I don't know. I like this a lot, actually. We might be building a few Infinity decks at some point. That's pretty cool. All the same lands. We pulled one of the really good ones! Yes, it's not a hollow, but still, I think that's worth like $5, $10. That's not bad. It's worth more, basically what I paid for the pack at least. And it's a forest one, which is nice. I always like to pull forests. They're like probably my favorite lands to pull, typically. I know islands always get the best artwork, don't get me wrong, but I've always been a forest kid. I like walking through forests, I like hiking in forests, just chilling under a tree, etc., etc. Alright, we're down to here now. Cover the Spot is our first attraction. As long as we keep getting different ones, that's all I care about. So, visit, drop 3 cards you own from outside the game, one at a time onto the play area, from a height of at least 1 foot. If those cards completely cover the spot, claim the prize. The prize is you get 4 tickets, and then you can put a sticker on a non-land permanent you own. And then you have to sacrifice this and open a new attraction. Okay. Hot take. I like non-foil cards better than the hollows. In Magic, I agree with you. I'm a person who came from Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was always nicer to pull the hollows. I'm not gonna lie. But in Magic, because of the curling that happens, yeah, it's nicer not to have hollows. I'm with you there, Snoop. Cover the spot. Plus, a lot of times lately, I've noticed when I search things on Collector, the non-hollow is actually worth more than the hollow. It's not always the case, but it's frequent enough that I'm like, that's interesting. Cover the spot. I don't think I had this one before you. Oh, wait. Oh, we just did this. Sorry. Oh, that's funny. Okay, the next one. Information booth. Nice. I don't think I have this one either. Visit, draw a card. Nice. And it doesn't seem to ever get destroyed, so that's a pretty good one. Roxy! We pulled another Roxy! This one is a hollow. So last time I think we pulled a non-hollow one. This time we pulled the hollow one. And I'm going to definitely probably build Roxy as her own deck, plus maybe put her in one of my spell slinging decks. Flying, star 4, her power is equal to the number of permanents you control with an art sticker on them, plus the number of cards in your graveyard with an art sticker on them, and when she enters the battlefield, you get to put 2 art stickers on things. So at the very least, she's going to be a 2/4 when she comes into play, which isn't bad. She could be a fun deck to build for sure. And she's not an acorn. We got a ticket bot, and okay, so we only got 1 sticker sheet. We actually got a token. I'm surprised. And we got 1 sticker sheet, which is a different one than one of the ones I've had before, so that's nice. 2 tickets will get me a target creature gains all creature types until end of turn. That's not bad. And 3 tickets will get me Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, you get to draw a card. Nice. That's a pretty good sticker sheet. I mean, overall, I'm gonna have to say the land was probably the best pull, but I mean, those were some pretty fun cards. We got some cool legendaries. I definitely like that guy best. I think the Trust Chief Engineer is gonna be fun to play at some point in the deck. All right. Shinies are always nice. This is true. This is true. That's again the Yu-Gi-Oh in me. The Yu-Gi-Oh player in me loves the shinies. If I get to do another stream next weekend, maybe I'll show you some of my old Yu-Gi-Oh collection too. If any of you guys would be interested in that. All right, 8:45 or 45 minutes in. That's not bad. We've only opened 4 packs. You were worried I was going to rush through everything, Snoop. I think we're actually going a little slower than I originally had planned. Um, I mean, I can always do a deck profile, or we could just keep opening packs. Or, I mean, if any of you guys have some questions or things you want to throw out there, I'm always interested in answering. I do have the arena codes I talked about too earlier, so if anybody's interested in some arena codes, give me a shout out. We can always do some of those. Kaiba is still KO'd on the bed hard. The video I was going to show you guys today, when I went to walk him this afternoon, we went over to the park and they have a splash pad. Kaiba does not like baths. He does not like showers. He does not like going out in the rain. But for whatever reason, he loves the splash pad. Like, ridiculously loves it. Like, he jumps through all the sprinkles and tries to drink the water as it's coming up and races around it. And oh, he's hilarious. So I took a really cool video of that, but we'll see if I don't if he stays up there all night, what I'll do is I'll just post that as one video to the channel probably tomorrow at some point, along with tomorrow's Super Deck Sunday, of course, which I'll probably record tomorrow morning because I haven't recorded it yet because my dad's not here, so I get to actually do recordings when I feel like, which is pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not seeing anybody shouting out for a deck profile or magic codes, so maybe we'll just keep doing packs. I mean, packs are definitely fun to watch people open. I love watching videos on YouTube of people opening packs. Oh, story! I forgot. I wanted to tell a story. We'll open this one next. I do have a deck we wanted to talk about. Where are you, deck? Recently on the channel, I profiled. I'll watch whatever you want to. You're always so nice, Snoop. Recently, I did the profile of my spirit deck for you guys, and I promised you guys when I actually got around to playing it, I would tell you about how it went. And today, for the first time, I actually played a game in like a month almost. I haven't been to the store in a while to play. I go and pick up some product here or there, but the nights that they play are either Thursday night, which is really rough for me to try and play there and then go into work Friday morning for 4 in the morning. And the other one is Saturdays. And I find more often than not that by the time I get through all my laundry and all my chores on a Saturday, I just have no desire to walk over and go hang out at the store and play cards. And in addition to that, I just don't get to spend a lot of time with Kaiba during the week that isn't us just kind of sleeping a lot of the time. So as a result of that, I try to give him as much time as I can on the weekends. But anywho, so we played the Spirit deck today. Got my butt kicked hard. Now, granted, part of it was as you've seen in the deck profile, it was really meant to be more of like a Mardu deck, but I had to include 5 colors mainly because there's a few cards that are key components to some of the strategy that I play in the deck, and the other reason is because there just simply was not a Mardu Spirit Commander that I actually liked. I don't think there is one in existence, but if there is, I didn't actually like it when I looked at it. So, today I pulled all of the green and blue cards that are pretty much in this deck during my game and didn't pull a freaking green land at all. Didn't pull a land that tapped for blue. Well, I have pulled one land that tapped for blue at the beginning of the game, but it also tapped for red and white, and I needed it to tap for red more often than not. So I couldn't do red and blue in the same turn until like turn 9 or 10. Basically, I couldn't play most of my hand through the game after my initial hand was amazing. My initial hand was a swamp, plains, the monastery that tapped for 3 different colors, a soul ring, Elish, Ellis, the pilgrim one, and like 2 other cards that I can't remember. And it was like an insanely awesome starting hand as long as I could have pulled green or blue to finish off the color pool. But not a chance in hell could I pull those today. And the guy I played against, the one guy who I thought was going to win the game when I actually left because I ended up losing and I dropped out of the game before finishing watching the play because I needed to get Kaiba out for his walk and stuff before the stream tonight. So I messaged him later just to like give him a heads up and see what happened, and he actually ended up losing. I was surprised, but his deck was pretty cool. It worked on initiative, and throughout the majority of the game, he dominated because he was able to cycle repeatedly through his dungeon. First off, and second off, his deck was designed around making multiple copies of his commander. His commander was a blue black guy. I think it was 5/4. It gave First Strike and Menace, in addition to +5/+5 if he had completed a dungeon. And if he hadn't completed a dungeon, it just gave Death Touch to a creature of his choice when it attacked. So basically, his goal was to copy his commander as many times as he could, breaking the legendary rule by having the copies be non-legendary. So he had like a bunch of different random blue creatures that did that. And then he would be able to use that ability multiple times in one turn to just have one commander swing for game essentially at somebody was the goal of his deck. It's a pretty neat deck. Little tough. I questioned how good it was, to be perfectly honest, at first. I thought it was more of a 3 than a 2, but the fact that he didn't end up winning makes me question whether I was right to question it in the first place. Maybe he just got a really good setup. Anyways, so that's my report on the Spirit deck. Hey, Matt Cave! Welcome to the stream, buddy. It's going good. It's going good. We've opened some packs. Got some pretty cool hits. Um, this force is actually probably really. It's probably my favorite pull so far, other than the elephant, because I just love the artwork on this. This is insane. I'm gonna bring this in close for you guys again to take another look at that. That is some cool artwork. Played at the store on Thursday, and they handed out Prosperous Innkeeper Regional promo. Whoa! And Chromatic Lantern? Wow! That's really cool. Feels like most store play stronger than my decks, though. Yeah, I know. That's my problem too, Snoop. I really like. I get frustrated when I go and play at the store because I will take my deck in and I'll specifically sit at a table and I'll specifically say I want to play a bracket 2 or a bracket 3. And the people will sit down and they'll be like, I really just want to play this one deck one time and then we'll play something else. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. But then the table will vote me out and I end up having to play against people who are playing like bracket 4 decks. And I'm like, once I get crushed, I usually end up leaving after the first game, to be honest, at that point, because I just don't like that kind of attitude. I'm really for just playing a fun game. Today's game was reasonably fun, except for being landlocked. That part sucked. So, I mean, the first like 5 or 6 turns, I was doing reasonably well. After the first board wipe, I don't think I ever recovered, though. Anywho, opening the 5th pack. Here's our paper. Let's see what we got. Oh, we're going back to Kaldheim again already. Wow. Random draw did not go well for us on that one. I was hoping to pull something cool like Zendikar. But Kaldheim does have snowlands, so let's see if we can pull another one of those. For those who missed it earlier, check out this nice snow-covered island on the Kaldheim pack that we pulled. I think, like I was saying earlier, I think the Kaldheim ones are worth less than some of the other snowlands, but I just care about how they function. And if I can keep pulling swamps and islands, that will just make that one commander deck I want to build so much easier to actually use his ability. I've got a human warrior creature token. Other side, anything? Nope. Okay. Human warrior. Let's see what we've got. Ooh, we got a pretty art card. That is pretty. Will you be here lurking in the background? Okay, wait, whoa. Building a desk for my wife. Almost done with it. If you're still going, I'll be back. Nice. I hope you do that safely. Make sure you don't, smash your finger with a hammer or anything there, Matt Cave. Very cool art. All right. Snow-covered mountain. We've gotten like 3 or 4 of those now. I might have to figure out some sort of snow-covered permanent that is red and build a deck around it at some point. Feel like I'm being pulled towards doing that. All right, we'll put you up there. We got an Axgard Cavalry. Okay, that's where this card originally came from. I've pulled way too many copies of this card. He's neat because he gives something haste when he taps himself, but I mean, overall, not super amazing. I'll mid you though. Dwarven Reinforcements. Create 2/2/1 red dwarf berserker creature tokens. And you can foretell it. Alright. I will mid you because of the foretelling. Goldmaw Champion. Apparently this is the dwarf pack. I think the first pack was the elf pack. This pack is the dwarf pack. Oh, yep, you know how it goes. I do know how it goes. I have definitely smashed my hand with a hammer quite a few times while building things. Both pay 1 and a white, tap target creature when this attacks. Interesting. When does creature attack this turn? Oh, okay. I'm wondering if you can do that as you tap it to attack, or whether it actually has to like get through the attack phase before you can do that. Either way, midget. That's not bad. Shackles of Treachery. We do like cards like this. Gain control of the target creature until end of turn, untap it, gives it haste, and destroys the equipment attached to it. Eh, that one's not the best one of the ones, but it's still alright. I'll nudge you. Bound in Gold, that one I'm not fond of. Can't attack or clock, crew vehicles, and its activated abilities can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. I don't like the fact that mana abilities can still be activated on this. That's the reason why. Otherwise, it would be amazing. I'll still mid you, though, for it. Asgard Braggart. Braggart, sorry. 3/3 for 4. Boast, 1 and a white. Untap it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Nice. That might be the first one going top on this pack. I've won a low bracket 4, high bracket 3 game with my zombie deck, but it implied a 15-minute turn drawing 26 cards going infinite. Wow. I mean, I would like to see that turn. That would be a turn that would be fun to watch. A lot better than the turns that the guy was doing with the dungeon today. He just kept cycling through the dungeon. We just had to keep watching him do the whole 10 card thing and then putting out more clones, which then would trigger the thing more. Um, like I say, it was a great deck. It was well built. It was just really boring at times watching him go through it. Rune of Speed. Enchant permanent. When Rune of Speed enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as the enchanted permanent is a creature, gets +1/+0 and has haste. If the enchanted permanent is an equipment, the equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. I like these. I got one of these in white in Dollarama Draws of Destiny, I think. And I think he gave Vigilance and +1/+0. So same concept, but with red, and I like it. I'm gonna top you. Alright, what we got next? Runed Crown. When it enters the battlefield, you can search your library, hand, and or graveyard for a rune card, put it onto the battlefield attached to Rune Crown. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. Equip creature gets +1/+1, equip 2. Okay, so this thing's basically just supposed to collect all the runes that are in this set. That's interesting. I'll mid you because you're very specific. Herald, Unite the Elves. Herald unites the elves. Mill 3 cards. You may put an elf card or Tivar card from your graveyard onto the battlefield. Damn, that's not bad. Put a +1/+1 counter on each elf you control. Whenever an elf you control attacks this turn, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 into. Damn, that's a freaking fierce saga. 2 black and green. That will go in my black and green deck for sure. Pretty sure it's on YouTube. I was playing with YouTube. Nice. I'll have to look for it. Cool. This is an awesome enchantment for my one deck specifically, but I'm still going to put you top because of how good you are. Boreal Outrider. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if snow was paid in any of the spell's colors, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Not bad. Very specifically needs to be in a snow deck, of course, but not bad. And Guardian Gladewalker. Shapeshifter Changeling, when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Costs 1 and a green for a 1/1. You can put the +1/+1 counter technically on itself, which isn't bad. I'll mid you. I think the pull of that pack was definitely the enchantment, though, at the end there. Alright, alright. Instead of doing a draw this time, I'm going to put it to a vote. Pick a pack, guys. Chat's turn to pick. Pick a pack. Any pack. I'll open a pack, except for the Commander Masters. That one we have to pick by random. Because of how expensive it is. I want to do that one as a random pick because I think it'll be more exciting. But any other pack in this bag, I will open. From the ones I showed you guys earlier. Throne of Eldraine, Dominaria, we already did one, but we can do it again. Brothers War, Guilds of Ravnica, Zendikar. Give me a shout out. Brothers War. I see a Brothers War. Brothers War is. Oh, nope. Eldraine? That was a close one. I almost picked that. Oh, there was Core 2021 too, if you guys are interested in the Core one. Like I say, though, I think that one's going to probably not be super great because of how cheap it was. I assume it's not got a lot of interesting hits. Throne of Eldraine it is. Alright. Ravnica could be cool. Do you want me to roll a die? I can put the 3 packs up and we can roll a dice. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. Anybody else have a vote in the chat? To me? Well, if it's up to me, I'm going to roll the dice. So that's what we'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have this cool skull dice. Skull being 6. Shout out to Anthony. I kind of doubt you're watching, buddy, but if you are here, I really appreciate you still for all these amazing dice that you gave me and the cards we used to trade and the videos that are still up of us playing together. I will always cherish those. So thanks for everything, buddy. All right, here we go. It's a 1. We're doing Brothers War. All right. So the first time I pull Brothers War out of the plastic bag, I will just toss that aside and we'll pull a different one out to make up for this pack being pulled. That way we can make sure that we because there's an exact number of papers in there based on the exact number of packs I had. Alright, Brothers War is... Can we pull a Transformers card? That would be really cool. I really, really, really would love to pull a Transformers card live on stream. Assuming I can open the pack. Because these are the hardest packs to open I found so far. Out of, like, a bunch of ones that I've been opening. There we go. Alright, I got it. Yeah, I know! It would be so cool to pull Transformers. Currently, I have 3. Before I go through this, I have 3 Transformers cards so far. So if I pull any of those 3, I'm going to be a little bit sad. The 3 I have so far are, um, shoot, give me a moment, give me a moment. I should know his name, damn. Okay, I'm going to go with the first one that I know. I know Starscream I have. I'm pretty happy with that one. That's probably my favorite one out of the three. I also have Ratchet. Ratchet's the one I was trying to think of. His ability is pretty cool. He has lifelink and or yeah, lifelink and he flips back and forth based on life gaining and such. And then there's I can't remember the exact name of the other guy, but he's like a boombox. And he does some pretty neat stuff too, with regards to life loss. So schematic Asnod or Altar of Dementia would be cool too. Sure would. I would love any of the schematic cards actually. I love the art design of those. I know a bunch of them aren't actually worth money per se, but they're still like really neat to look at. Oh my God, they need to do the Beast Wars set. I don't know why they didn't revisit it. I mean, I'm assuming it must have been some sort of legal nonsense per se, but I really wish they would revisit and do the Beast Wars. That would be awesome. I think the funniest one would probably be a deck built around I don't remember his name, but the rat guy, the one that transforms into a rat. Oh, that would be hilarious if they made a deck commander deck around him somehow. All right, we got the art card. Brothers War, if I remember correctly, is one of the ones I'm supposed to do a Patrick for, isn't it? Transformers in Optimus Prime Transformers or other. I recently started on MTG. I bought a couple. Nice. No, Transformers as in the Optimus Prime Transformers. Yeah. But there was also Beast Wars was like the second series that came out in like the 90s or something. It was really cool. Instead of them transforming into cars and stuff, they transformed into like animals. And they like basically landed on the planet in like the dinosaur age. So most of the Predacons were um like Tyrannosaurus Rex and like a pterodon and like things that would eat carnivores. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And a lot of the my goodness, you know what I'm talking about. The other ones were all like herbivores. Like there was an ape and there was a rhinoceros. Good times. Good times. How's it going, by the way, Jesse? Nice to see you here. Glad to have you on board. You want to make a rat deck so bad, but rat colony cards are so expensive. I know, rat colony cards are ridiculous. My plan actually is I want to build a rat deck, but I'm gonna do rats and ninjas together, is my plan. Because there's a few rats that are actually ninjas, and I thought that would be kind of a neat crossover. But my commander, if I'm going to build that, is probably going to be that Ninja Turtle one that I pulled from way back when I did the Jumpstart Your Day episodes from the Foundations. I figured that would make for a really fun. Uh, I'm still going to be doing the blue and black, of course, but I don't have the typical commander and the one that's banned anyway, so that works for me. I really want to do the pack trick, but I can't remember how the pack trick works for this set. So screw it. We're just going to go from back to front, front to back, front to back. Hello, hit anything good so far? Not bad, not bad. Quick review. We got Battle Mammoth, Snow Covered Island, and Circling Elementus from their first Kaldheim. We got a really cool Vampire, Tithe Drinker, some Gilgate, a couple other neat cards from this pack. The Oath of Teferi was a big hit in the other pack, along with a Slimefoot and Stowaway. Wizard's Lightning was kind of neat too. And we did some Infinity. We got a few legendaries in it. I'm looking forward to building a Trust Chief Engineer at some point. We got Roxy and Monoxa, plus the Forest. And finally, Herald from the Unites the Elves was a big hit. We got some rune stuff going on. And we got a snow-covered mountain at the back there. So, solid stuff. Nothing like major money, I don't think, per se, but still. Okay, yeah. I don't need to do a pack trick. Good. I would have screwed this up then anyways. Oh, that's neat. Look at that. Isn't that funny? We got the art card and the land in the exact same. Wow, that's really cool. Maybe that's some sort of good luck. Let's see. Put that there. Boulder Branch Golem. 3 and a green for a 3/3 or 7 for a 6/5. When it enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to its power. Bad. That's a decent card, I guess. Disenchant. I like that. I like that. Power Plant Worker. We pulled a few of those the other day. I'm going to mid you. Actually, no. I'm going to bottom you because I think they're cool, but we can't use them in Commander very well. No One Left Behind. This spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature with mana value 3 or less. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Nice. I can go top. Haywire Mite. When it dies, you gain 2 life. Pay green, sacrifice to exile target non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment. Yeah, okay. Involuntary cooldown. Infinity Lands looks so good. I know, eh? I'm so happy we pulled that one. My first couple of Infinity packs, I didn't pull any of the full art ones really, except for the I did pull some of the full art ones, but they weren't the planet ones. That's the first planet one I've pulled. I'm hoping to pull a few more planet ones. I like the artwork on those ones especially. Involuntary cooldown. Tap 2 up to 2 target artifacts and or creatures, put 2 stun counters on each of them. Neat. Okay. I mean, what's cool about this is if you target an artifact creature, technically you can put 4 stun counters on the damn thing. I think. I could be wrong about that because of the fact that you have to tap. Well, no, I think actually that would work. Yeah. You know what? You're going top because of that. Gribbling Anointer. Flying. When you draw a second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, return another creature card with mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, if you have a way to boost that thing more than just its own ability, that's definitely worth playing. Spotter Thopter. Prototype 3 in a blue, 2/3, or 8 for a 4/5. When it enters the battlefield, scry X where X is a power. Oh, I don't like that. That's a little heavy-hearted. I'll put you mid because sometimes scrying can be real. No, you know what? You're going bottom. You're going bottom. Sword of the Meek. This is a nice pull. Old school artwork and border design. Quick creature goes +1/+2. Whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can return this thing from the graveyard and equip that creature with it. I like that because it comes back repeatedly. That's a good card for sure. Especially in a tokens deck. Ooh, Drafna, Founder of Latnam. What do you do? I always love pulling legendaries. 1 in a blue, return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. 3 and tap, copy target artifact. Ooh. Oh ho ho! That is definitely going in my blue deck. That is a sick pull for my blue deck. That's definitely the hit. Oh, I might have spoke too soon. What do you do? Junkyard Genius. I wish you were a legendary. 1 black and red. You're so pretty. When it enters the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone, pay 1 black and red, sacrifice another creature or artifact until end of turn. Creatures control get +1/+0 and menace and haste. That's pretty decent. That's a great way to get a whole bunch of tokens to swing in one turn after you've created them. Still, I think this guy's better, though. So that. You're going to that pile, and Urza's Armor. Ooh, this looks cool. 6. Whenever a source deals damage to you, that damage is reduced by 1. That's pretty good. That includes battle damage, doesn't it? Would it be like, okay, somebody who knows Magic better than me, Jess. Jess, you seem to know a lot more Magic stuff than I do. Would that be like every attack gets reduced by 1? Like if somebody swung at me with like 15 tokens that are 1/1s, would I technically take no damage? Because that is amazing if so. I think this is also like a guest card because the artwork is different than the rest of the set. So I'm pretty sure this is going top of the pile instead of the legendary. That might be our first hit of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Might just be the first hit of the night. I will have to check prices later, unfortunately, because I do not Well, I mean, I could, but I'm just really worried the stream will crash if I try to do that, to be honest. Sounds about right. Imagine that thing in a Maha deck. Ooh, that would be good. Well, yeah, I think that definitely is probably the hit of the night so far in terms of. Okay, be careful with it because it might be worth money. I did not think to bring down any. That was the one thing I should have brought down was some sleeves and some plastic protectors for anything we actually hit on. Maybe I'll go upstairs and see if I can try and get some of those without disturbing Kaiba. I need a drink soon, anyways. Let's all take a 5 minute, pause, run to the washroom, do stuff, come back. Sound good? Sounds good. I would put on music or something, but I don't have any music prepared, so imagine your favorite interlude song, like elevator music. Very many plastic protectors left. Used up a bunch lately on all our good pulls, but we still have a few. Put this guy in one. I always forget that you want to sleeve it upside down so that you can put it into the plastic protector such that it is facing right side up so that it won't fall out the top by accident and get damaged per se. There we go. Put that on display there. Pretty sure that's our first pull of the night. Does anybody else want to pick a pack? Snoop picked a pack to open. Well, he kind of picked three, but I'm watching for my PC so I can look up value of cards if you want. Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, if we get anything that I think is a hit like this, I would love to know if it is actually a hit or whether I'm just like because sometimes when you get like these really cool old cards, you think they're going to be hits and they're not. For example, the other day in the Brothers War opening that I did, the mini video one of the 3 packs, that Gilded Lotus that I pulled at the end in the third pack that I thought was worth a whole bunch was worth like $3 or something, $5 maybe Canadian. Like it's not worth a lot. So I mean, it's still worth a lot to me because it's a cool card and it has cool art, but it wasn't like worth putting in a plastic protector. Urza's armor looks like it could be. But again, it could be just a dollar card or something, for all I know. Taveno's blueprints were critical to the creation of my armor. As he once sealed himself in steel, I sealed myself in a walking crypt. That's pretty cool. I like the flavor text on that too. Not seeing by Shed. Oh, looks to be 35 to 50 cents. Ah, so we put in a plastic protector for nothing. Okay. In that case, we can put it. It'll still stay in a sleeve because it's cool, but it doesn't need the plastic protector as bad as something else probably will later on, hopefully. Alright, I didn't see anybody else shout out any other packs, so maybe we'll go back to random draw. I'm still going to keep throwing it out there every couple of packs. If anybody wants an arena code, I have like 8 or 9 of them sitting over here. I don't know what they go to off the top of my head, because I've been collecting for a while, so value doesn't matter though. My favorite card in my zombie deck is one of my least valuable. Yeah, I know. Exactly. I mean, honestly, I think value is not in terms of financial value. I think value is in what the player values most, for sure. This is going to be a really fun card to put in a deck. I just haven't decided which one yet. But I mean, that is really cool that it reduces all the damage by 1. I still think though the Drafna is really cool too. I'm pretty excited about that going in my blue deck. That's going to really make a huge difference. I have $70 land in it, but I still prefer my $1 Grave Crawler. Nice. What's the $70 land? Like Cabal Coffers or something? This one feels like a good one. And next pack is Dominaria. We're just spinning our wheels on some of these. Maybe next pack I'll pick one. Because I really want to open a Zendikar, to be honest. That was one of the ones I was excited for in the store when I saw them. So I think that's what I'll open next. Dominaria, here we go. We got Cool Lady on the front. Let's see if we can do it again. Last time we did pull the Teferi, it's the only one we've pulled so far that was actually on the pack. So that is kind of a goal tonight, is to try and pull something that... Oh, Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. Yep, yep. Which compares well with Cabal Coffers. Yep, yep. Good times. Oh, nice. It's the Rainbow Saproling. I love that one. I think that's one of my favorite versions of Saprolings. Okay. Running out of space here. I might have to do something with the packs, put them a little closer maybe, or something like that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start using the bottom of the playmat. Maybe I will use the bottom of the playmat for packs. That's not a bad idea, actually. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. What we got? Vodalin Arcanist. Tap, add colors, but you can only do it for instants or sorceries. Man, that's not bad, though. That is not bad. Invoke the Divine. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, you gain 4 life. 3? Yeah, okay, I'll pay that. Gitu Chronicler, we already seen this one earlier tonight. I mean, it's still a really good card, though. You get an instant or sorcery back. Llanowar Scout. 1 and a green, tap it, you can put a land card from your hand. Ooh. Damn, that's gotta be a good one, eh? I mean, it's a common, but it's gotta be one of the better commons in the set, probably. 'Cause that's a really good ability. Rat colony! Ah, that is awesome. I think that might be the second one I have. So, I mean, I don't have enough to really use them effectively, but still, cool. We were just talking about it and we pulled it. I like that. I'm surprised Core 2021 was so cheap. It has some. Oh, does it? Interesting. Yeah, it was crazy cheap. I know, no way. Befuddled. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. Draw a card. I'm gonna admit that. I prefer it when it's the toughness, not the attack that gets nerfed. At the beginning, end step, untap target artifact. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. He can target himself too. Blink of an eye. Kicker 1 in a blue, costs 1 of a blue. You can pay the kicker as many times as you want. Nice. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If it was kicked, you get to draw a card. Okay, so we only get to return one non-land permanent, but we can kick it enough times that we can draw as many cards as we want. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'll still put you top for that. Instant speed. Shivan Fire. Kicker 4 on a red 1. Deals 2 damage to target creature. If this was kicked, it deals 4 damage instead. You're going mid. Blood Tallow Candle. 1. And then 6 to tap and sacrifice it, and target creature gets -5. Yeah, no. That's way too expensive. Wild Onslaught. 3 and a green with kicker 4. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If the spell was kicked, put 2 counters. That one's actually worth the kicker. I would pay the kicker on that one. You get two counters instead on each creature? Yeah, why not? Sentinel of the Pearl Trident. Flash. When this thing enters the battlefield, you may exile target historic permanent you control. If you do, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. That's pretty good. That could be pretty good in my Mirror Oak deck, depending on what I want to exile with it. I'll admit you. Memorial to Folly. Enters battlefield tapped, add black, pay 2 black. Sacrifice, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, okay. That's a pretty good land. Joda! Ooh! There's a hit! Joda Archmage Eternal, flying 4/3. Costs 4 to put into play, but you can pay Wooburg rather than pay mana costs for spells that you cast. Excuse me. Got a little too excited about that one. Oh. That might be the hit of the pack for sure on that one, I think. And a forest. Alright, I mean, was there anything else that was... I do like the Voltaic, but honestly, and I do like the Llanowar, but pretty sure it's the Joda on that pack. Pretty sure it's hard to argue against that. Doing well on the legendaries tonight, at least, if nothing else. I do love me my legendary pulls. Alright. What was the green card earlier in the pack? That was... it was either Llanowar Scout, which is you can put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield by tapping it, or it was the Wild Onslaught. 3 and a green and kicker 4. For 1/+1/+1 counter on everything, or 2 counters on everything. I think those were the only 2 green ones. Yeah. You think the Scout is worth a bunch? Because I'm thinking it might be. That Scout has a pretty freaking good ability. So I'm betting. Whoop. Uh-oh. Something happened. I'll be right back. Kev, are you okay? It's in the streaming for another half hour. I want to bet. Okay, that was freaky, guys. I have no idea why that happened, but camera 3 went down hard. Is camera 3 still going? It's not supposed to be going. I stopped it. Alright, don't want you looking. Yeah, look that way, please. Take that one off. There we go. Okay. Okay, that one that can tap for a land is pretty neat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that one might be actually worth a bit, per se, compared to the rest of the pack. I could be wrong, though. Alright, I'm going to, let's call it a little intermission. Since I had to go get the phone anyways, kind of got excited for the rat colony. I don't know what the heck actually happened, to be honest. The phone, I think, just kind of popped out of the, I bought one of those, like, tripods, but I didn't, that's one of the few things I didn't invest a lot of money in. That was from the dollar store, so it was like a $4 piece of Gosa, essentially, for lack of a better term. So I think the phone just popped out of it because it was, I don't know, tired of being held. On the plus side, that does give me an opportunity to at least show you the video I was talking about earlier of Kaiba. Gives us a little break from pack openings for something different for the stream. For those of you who love pugs, it's only a few minutes, but I think that this will be fun. So I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this as the space underneath where the cards are going. I don't know how well the microphone will pick up the volume, but this was kind of park adventure this afternoon. I know technically we're not supposed to go and play on the splash pads, but he's my kid and it's what he loves. So risk it for the biscuit. So he kind of cycled it a whole bunch first before he really got jumping in there. Especially the other one, shoot a suit. It's hard to get an angle where it doesn't seem like it's too bright. Maybe if I... Is that better? Oh, crap. I'll post it later. I don't think it's gonna get a very good comment. That's not bad, actually. He's a lot of fun. It's the only time he really enjoys getting wet. He's playing with those. Let's try and get back to where we were before so we don't have to watch the whole video through a second time. He accidentally got me shot in the butt during this. It's hard to predict the patterns of the things. He loved it so much we actually did it a second time. I don't know if he's loving it or if he's confused. I mean, maybe a little of both. Like we um we discovered this when we were living in Nova Scotia last summer. He had never seen one of these before. And when we would go by the park that had the splash pad, the splash pad was actually a really nice one in Nova Scotia. They had like a few different like guns almost even that you could like rotate and squirt people with and stuff. They had a whole bunch of like different like things you could crawl in and over and around that were also shooting water. It was a really, really nice one. And whenever Kaiba would go and he'd see the kids playing there, he always wanted to go and run around in the water too. So I've been trying to get him out there when I can this summer. I find it's a lot hotter here than it was in Nova Scotia, so I worry about him, of course, with his short nose. I filmed one of my favorite show recent years in Nova Scotia. Oh yeah, what show was that? This is almost done. I think he walks away from here shortly. He actually ends up wanting me to go back after I stopped filming for a second round of this. I ended up getting completely soaked by accident because the water shot from the opposite ends for the start on the second one. Shot me right in the backside. So I'm gonna post this to my channel from, eh? That sounds interesting. I'll have to look into that. We're getting 46 degrees. Yeah, I know. It's gonna be freaking crazy. Monday through Wednesday is gonna, or Sunday through Wednesday is supposed to be really nasty. So my plan is to try and walk Kaiba whenever the sun's down, and the rest of the week I'm just gonna have to take him outside and let him do his business in the backyard. He's not gonna be happy about that, but there's really not a choice. Like I say, pugs with their short snouts, they can't cool themselves the way regular dogs can quite as effectively. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way she be. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a little bit hungry, so I'm going to eat one of these peanut butter cookies I made earlier. I was supposed to share them with Kaiba during the stream, but he doesn't seem to want to come down. He ended up just rotating around, eating one of his treats, and going back to sleep up there after I went up to get the camera. Oh, cool. From actually sounds really good. Um, what was the other one I liked? That sounds very similar to Fringe. Fringe was really cool, I thought. I liked that one a lot. But I'll check out From for sure. Is it on is it on any of the particular streaming services, or can I actually like see that on regular TV? Yep. Fringe and Lost were both definitely good. Yeah. Cannot deny that. All right. I said I was going to pick next, and I want to pick a Zendikar Rising. There we go. New kind of booster. I was excited about that. I'm not sure why it's a new. Ooh, shoot. Tossing it on the floor. I'm not sure why it was specifically a new kind of booster compared to other ones, but Paramount Plus. Okay, I'll look for sure. Well, there's no reason not to look. I'll figure it out at some point. I think we'll probably open another 4 or 5 packs and then we'll probably call it a night unless somebody has like I mean again, if anybody wants to do a little mini Q&A, if you have any questions, shoot them out in the chat. I will be happy to answer them if I can. Ooh, kitty token. Very pretty kitty token. I like that one. Anything on the backside? Your cards in play. Oh, that's interesting. I never realized you're supposed to do it. Your graveyard's supposed to be at the top? Did you know that? Besides, like, is this like a new thing for anybody besides me? Your graveyard's supposed to be at the bottom, your library's supposed to be at the top? I play that backwards. Am I the only one who plays that backwards? Like the lands and the creatures, yeah, that makes sense. In your hand, I got that, but why are no that oh you do have a question. I mean, I'll answer it as long as I'm not gonna get in trouble on YouTube, you know what I mean? Like as long as it's not like racist or something per se. I'm happy to answer it. I'm the only one who does the graveyard at the top and the library at the bottom? Damn. Okay, I messed up then. I think that's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I always did it that way because of how Yu-Gi-Oh did it. Except in Yu-Gi-Oh, your deck's on one side, your graveyard's on the other. So when I got into Magic, I just ended up pushing the graveyard up, or pushing the graveyard, yeah, pushing the graveyard up and putting the library there. Makes more sense to me. You can draw from the top there, and you can put your cards, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Art card is pretty nice in this one. Forest. Very nice artwork on the forest. I like that. Yeah, I was just wondering what you were teaching before everything. Well, I I taught grade 6 for a few years. I taught grade 1 for like a year and a bit, and I taught high school for a year, grade 9 and 10 math. You mentioned Arena, so I'm assuming that's the online game or app game. Um, Arena, as far as I know, is a Magic the Gathering online game. Um, I don't think it's an app, as far as I know. I think you just log into mtgarena.com based on what's typed on the back of the card. For example, this one. I don't play Arena myself. I've never had any interest in playing Arena. I like having the physical cards. So what I like to do for the most part is go on to Tolarian Community College and look up games for Spell Table. That's usually how I play Magic if I'm not playing in the store. So yeah, if anybody wants an arena code, if you actually play Magic the Gathering Arena, like I say, I've got two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine of them. I've just been collecting them because I figured at some point I would meet somebody who actually plays online and they would want them. And as far as I know, they don't expire. That's part of the reason why I don't play on there too. I definitely figure I'd have to sink a bunch of money into getting the cards I would want to use on Arena, probably. I don't think, like, the one nice thing, what game was it that you used to play? Was it Chaotic or something? I played it only for like a year, but I think if you got the card and you had the physical card, you could type in the code on the card and it would give you the card online too for the game. I'm pretty sure it was Chaotic. I actually would like to go back to teaching at some point. I'm still working on making sure that I have a good handle on my depression first. I really don't want to, by chance, have my mental health issues somehow affect a child and cause them to develop mental health issues. So that's the main reason why I'm staying out of the classroom at this point. But I mean, I'm doing a lot of stuff that's kind of teachery right now, anyways, in my new position at my job. I'm co-chair of the Health and Safety Committee now, so I'm going to be organizing like little mini seminars on different safety aspects at work. We're supposed to be organizing games for the workers to play too, to encourage learning and stuff. Um, and I get to do a lot of like organizing and group planning and stuff that I used to do when I was a teacher. So, I mean, in some ways, I'm pretty happy about where I'm currently at. Um, as of September, I'm also going to get benefits, like medical benefits, like prescriptions and such. So I'm pretty happy about that. Teaching for me wasn't the thing that made me depressed, unfortunately. It was kind of not teaching that led to depression first, and then just a whole bunch of other things snowballed it and made it worse. Um, I did have some problems with in the classroom too, but it was more outside stuff, like not being able to connect with the parents to help support the students, feeling less supported by the administration and stuff like that. So that's I haven't taught since 2021, I think was the last year I taught. I taught for like half a year that year, and then I took the rest of the year off as medical, and I never went back to teaching basically after that. So I basically taught for 5.5 years because I started in 2015, somewhere in there I started, but it wasn't like direct in classroom teaching full time. I was teaching a really neat course that the one school had asked me to teach about how to be more disciplined and organized in the classroom and stuff like that for students to learn how to like manage their behavior and things and respect one another, stuff like that. So that was really cool. I did that in like 2016, 2015. And then I actually got a full-time position as a teacher for 4.5 years. So it was pretty good. I'm gonna do this pack now. But I will answer more questions if I see more come up. I'm just excited holding the cards. Forest. Expedition Skulker. Vampire Rogue. 2/2 for 2. Has Death Touch as long as you control another rogue. Nice. That's going in my rogues deck probably, if there's space. Okay, this is gonna be a rogues pack. Elf Rogue Death Touch. I was hoping to get another one of these actually. I had to put this into my Death Touch deck and I had to pull it out of one of my elf decks, so I can put this copy back into the other elf deck. Or into the elf deck I took it from originally. Deadly Alliance. 4 and a black, but it costs 1 less to catch for each creature in your party. I don't really play parties, so that's not very helpful. Oh, I forgot. These two there, this can go there, because I don't play party. Ghastly Gloom Hunter. Zombie Bat. 1 and a black for a 1/1. You can kick it for 3 and a black, though. Has flying and lifelink. If it was kicked, it enters with 2+1/+1 counters. Okay. I would pay that. You can go there. Mm. Demon's Disciple. Enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Perfect. I want to build another sacrifice deck. I'm going to be building a mono black one though, so that will work really good in that. Attended Healer, 3 and a white. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Nice. 2 and a white. Another target cleric, sorry, gains lifelink until end of turn. Interesting. You can go top. I have enough clerics that I can actually pull that off in a couple different decks. Gain control of target creature until end turn. Untap it, it gains haste. Also works as a land. Not my favorite one because you can't let it do both. It would be neat if it after you played the spell it came back and became a land, but I'm gonna put it with the land actually because it's usually more valuable that way than it is actually as the spell. Disenchant, nice. We pulled another one of those. Pulled one earlier in a different set. Marasa Sproutling. 2 and a green for a 3/3 with a kicker, 1 and a green. Enters the battlefield if it was kicked. Return target card with a kicker ability from your graveyard to your hand. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we pulled today that has kickers, so I suppose that's actually not as unuseful as it normally would be when I've pulled that. So we'll put it mid. Oh, that's cool. That's got to be worth something. Riverside Pathway taps for blue and Lava Glide Pathway, which taps for red. That has got to be worth something. That is a really cool full art land. And behind it is something really cool too. Let's see what it is. Canopy Bailiff. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield and you control, it gets +2/+2 until. Okay, it's not as cool as I thought. It's just got cool artwork. I'll still put you mid. But this cool. I have never seen a land that has a land on both sides and you can pick which one you want to put into play. And they come in untapped. Alright, Snoop. Let me know if this one's worth anything. Or if I'm just blowing smoke. Riverside Pathway? No, River Glide Pathway. And Lava Glide Pathway. Definitely my favorite pull of the pack, whatever it's worth. I won't lie, I was hoping at my new gig to be the chair of the committee by myself because the person that I'm co-chairing with, part of the reason why I'm stepping up is because that person's been struggling in the position, and we felt that it would be better if that person. Ooh, nice. We're sleeving it $9. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yes, sir. All right, quick vote. Do you prefer that side or this side? This side seems more realistic to me because I don't think you're going to see a bunch of stuff floating in the air normally. But I kind of like the artwork on this side better. What do you guys think? $8 to $9 land though. That is pretty sick. We still have at least two more packs of Zendikar Rising in the bag, possibly three, so maybe we'll pull another one or two of these neat lands. I'm going to put it blue side unless somebody tells me otherwise. Put it over here in the sleeved pile. Alright. We're almost 2 hours in, so I say let's do three more packs. I'm not a big red player, so I prefer the blue side. Looks good to me. Jesse, did you have a pack you wanted to pick? Or Jess? I'm not sure whether it's Jess or Jesse. I apologize. If you had a pack that you were interested in seeing me rip, I would be happy to pull it. At this point, I think rather than doing random, we should just pull some fun ones. Matt Cave, if you happen to come back, I know that you're not really a big Magic player fan per se, but I mean, if there's any thing that sounded intriguing to you in terms of the names that we read off earlier, I'd be happy to pull it. I think the last pack I'll pull tonight is probably a Lord of the Rings one. I'll save the Commander Masters for another time. You pick, I'm still learning. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. For just this pick, I'll actually pick at random through the bag. I won't look. I will just grab one. That way, if we do get the Commander Masters, it will be a surprise still for somebody. Okay. I've got one, two, three packs left in my hand. Drop that one down to two. Let's take this one. Ah, Dominaria. That was a lame way to do that. Okay. Well, we got a Dominaria. We will open that, but we will also do, because somebody mentioned it earlier, Core 21. And then the last pack, maybe we'll do Lord of the Rings. Who wants to see? Anyone want to see Lord of the Rings, or you want to prefer to do an older pack? Start with the Dominaria. You know what? Actually, I want to save the Dominaria for another day. I am going to just pick. The hell with it. The hell with the randomness. Let's just pick for some fun. We didn't do a guilds yet, so let's do a guilds of Ravnica. Let's do a Throne of Eldraine. All right, we'll do four packs. We will do a Lord of the Rings because I agree that would be a good closing. Four more packs, and then we're calling it a night. These are the four: Ravnica, Core 2021, Throne of Eldraine, and then Lord of the Rings. Pretty sure we didn't do Ravnica yet, did we? I think we just did Dragon Maze. Yeah. So that way we can get kind of a view of all the different packs that we had potentially tonight. Except for, did we do everyone? I think we did everyone. All right. Let's start with this. I don't want to keep you guys up too late. Oh, Guild of Ravnica put the cards in backwards. That's interesting. Who are these people? Catch world-class Magic stream live with world-class coverage. Twitch.tv/magic. Anybody know if this is still going? That'd be neat if it was. I can say I opened this pack and have a picture of you guys from like 10 years ago. Or whenever Guilds of Ravnica actually came out. Other side is an Elf Knight. 2/2 with Vigilance. Not bad. Put that there. I'm running out of space to actually do the best cards, so I'll just set aside anything that we think is worth value over here, and the rest we'll just put in the pile. Alright. Pass Wall Adept. 2 and a blue. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. That is pretty good, actually. So far, actually, I'll leave whatever I think is the top pull up there, unless it's something that I actually think we need to sleeve. That makes sense. Maximize velocity. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Jumpstart. You can cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost. Then you have to exile it. I think I've never heard of it, LO, but I started playing in December 2024. Yeah, that's fair enough. Ah. Healer's Hawk. Flying lifelink 1/1. Bird. That could go in my Birds deck. That could definitely go in my Birds deck. Still think the Pass Wall Adept's the better card, though. So, to the pile you go. Dazzling Lights. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn, and you get to Surveil 2 for 1. Because it's 1, that would normally go top, but this is still the better choice. So, nope. Crashing Canopy. Destroy target creature with flying or an enchantment. I mean, I like the artwork on this version of Crushing Canopy, at least. A lot of times I don't really care for the artwork on that card, but this one's kind of nice. Warrior of Bones. 1 black for a 0/3 skeleton wall with Defender. When it enters a battlefield, you get to Surveil 1. It's not bad. I like the artwork. Siege Worm. Convoke, Trample, 5/5 for 7. Yeah, I don't like that so much. The fact that it has Convoke at least is helpful, but Boris Locket. Costs 4 to sacrifice it for 2 cards, but otherwise, taps for white and red, that's not bad. Notion Rain. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. Notion Rain deals 2 damage to you. Huh. Surveil Speed, or Sorcery Speed, I mean. Surveil Speed. Not bad, not bad. Pause for Reflection. Convoke, prevent all combat damage that would be... Okay, that's good. Is that better than the Pass Wall Adept, though? It goes up there until I can decide. Nightveil Predator. Okay, actually, I just decided. This one's better. I like this one better than both those. 2 blue, 2 black. I do have 1 copy of this, but it's nice to have a second one. Flying, Death Touch, and Hexproof. That is an insanely awesome combo on a card when you want to swing at people. Flying and Death Touch plus Hexproof, so you can't be targeting it with counter spells and shit. Nice. Rampaging Monument. Trample. Enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's pretty good. And it's a cleric. Interesting. That? No, I'm still going to put you there. If it was a +1/+1 counter for each of the colors, then that would go top for sure. But Creeping Chill. Deals 3 damage to each opponent. You gain 3 life. If it's put into your graveyard from your library, you can exile it, and if you do, you get to deal 3 damage to each opponent and gain 3 life. Solid. Blood Operative. Vampire Assassin for 1 and 2 black. 3/1 with lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, you can exile a target card from a graveyard. Whenever you surveil, if Blood Operative is in your graveyard, you can pay 3 life. If you do, return it to your hand. Why do I want to exile the card from a graveyard? What am I getting out of that? Oh, from a graveyard. Okay. It doesn't have to be necessarily for mine. Okay, that makes it better then. And an Izzet Guildgate. Not a bad land. Not a bad land at all. That was probably one of the lesser impressive packs so far, to be honest. But we still got some nice stuff in there. Some definitely good playable stuff. Won't say we didn't get that. Really like the Healer's Hawk. It's definitely going to find its way into my Birds deck somehow, some way, I'm sure. Alright, Core 2021. Picked you mainly because you had Liliana on the pack. So let's see if we can pull a Liliana. Did anyone see that video about which set were they previewing? Where Liliana takes on Nico Bolas and she like starts getting like completely obliterated by his magic. I really like that video. It's a good little video. Not very long, but full of a lot of emotional content, which is pretty cool. We got a Cyberling to start this one. And a Forest. Transmogrify. Oh, this one might have been one of the ones I was supposed to do a pack trick for. Crap. Exile target creature. If that creature's controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature, that player puts that card onto the battlefield. Okay, so it's like a Chaos Warp, except it costs one more, it's not instant speed, and it only works on creatures. Huh. Well, that's a pretty nerfed card. Core, we want Liliana or Grim Tutor. That would be crazy. Nice. Okay, let's go for those. Bad deal. Draw 2 cards, and each opponent discards 2 cards. Each player loses. Ooh. Damn. It's not actually that bad, other than the cost. The cost is a little high, but that's bad. It's currently the top card of this pack. Waker of Waves. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-0. Pay 1 a blue, discard this. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, the other into your graveyard. It's a 7/7 for 7. No thanks. Carrion Grub. Gets +X/+0, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in your graveyard. Nice. Enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. Okay. Okay. Well, that's the new top. Return to nature. Destroy an artifact, an enchantment, or exile a target card from a graveyard. Not bad. Roaming Ghostlight, flying, enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target non-spirit card to its owner's hand. 3/2 spirit for 5. Eh. Dub is cool. I've got 1 copy of Dub before, and I definitely like this one. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has first strike, and is a knight, in addition to its other types. I really like this one. That is probably going to end up in my mono angel white deck that I'm eventually building. I'm thinking about building a mono white deck and a mono black deck mix, just for the fun of it. Just to get a break from all the 5-colored stuff and refresh myself before I start building like 2 and 3 color decks again. Destroy target tap creature? Yeah, it's okay. Ranger's Guile. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end turn. That I like. Instant speed? Hell yes. Better than Carrion Grub? You know what? Yes, I like you better than Carrion Grub. There you go. Rise again. Return card creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Costs 5 at sorcery speed, but still. Decent artwork, too. Going to go with this one still, though, over that one. Ingenious Cur, Elemental Dog, gets +2/+0 until end turn. Not so good. Lofty Denial, that's okay. If you have something with flying, it makes the person have to pay 4. And you only have to pay 2 to do the counter. Counters anything, too. It's not a specific one, which is nice. Celestial Enforcer, pay 1 and a white, tap target creature, activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. Yeah. And Onik Ogre, 4/2 generic. Ranger's Guile seems to be the best card in that pack. Well, I should have done the pack trick on that one, but oh well. 2 more packs to go. Throne of Eldraine is next. See if we can pull something cool out of this one. And then we'll hit Lord of the Rings last. Maybe we'll get something crazy to end the stream out of one of these 2 packs. If not, we definitely got that neat land. We got the Urz's Arbor, and we got a slew of legendaries that I'm excited to build around, so I can't complain. Plus, I had to have a lot of fun hanging out with all you guys. We got a mouse. Mouse. Creature, and that's it. Swamp. Another one I should have done a pack trick. Damn. Alright, well, we'll know for the next stream that there's certain ones I need to do a pack trick for. Core 2021 for sure, and Throne of Eldraine, apparently. Gadwick the Wizened. Legendary human wizard. 3 blue and X. Enters the battlefield, draw X cards. Whenever you cast a blue spell, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Ooh. That could be going in my blue deck too. That's pretty good. Heraldic Banner, nice. Enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures of the chosen color get +1/+0. And you can add 1 mana. I only had 1 copy of this before, so I'm pretty happy that I get this. Rat Colony is up there too. That's true. Rat Colony was a definite hit for sure tonight. I should probably find that and actually sleeve it, eh? Let's do that before we get any further. Anyone remember which pack that was? Rat Colony, Rat Colony, Rat Colony. Herald, maybe? Is Stuart Little part of MTG? Apparently so. There's my Rat Colony. Put him in a sleeve so that he stays nice and fresh. We give him a green sleeve. Alright. Back to our pack. Keeper of Fables. Kitty Cat. 3 and 2 green. Whenever 1 or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player. Damn. I have to find a way to put that back into my cat's deck. 4/5? That's worth it. Joust. Target creature you control and target creature you don't control. Creature you control gets +2/+1 until end of turn if it is a knight. Then they fight. Okay. Very specific. Redcap Raiders. Whenever this thing attacks, you can tap an untapped non-human creature you control. If you do, this thing gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn. It's a goblin. It'll go well in my goblin deck. Can't complain. Locthwain Paladin, another human knight. Menace, 3/2. If at least 3 black mana was spent to cast a spell, this thing enters with a +1/+1 here. Okay. So it becomes a 4/3 with Menace. I'm okay with that. Steelgaze Griffin, flying when you draw your second card each turn. This thing gets +2/+0. Yeah, okay. Toonvale Treefolk, 6/5 for 6. The adventure side costs 3 and a green to put 2/+1/+1 counters on a creature. It's okay. It's not bad. Roving Keep. Wall, 5/7 for 7. Defender. Pay 7, it gets +2/+0, gains trample until end of turn, and can attack as though it doesn't have defender. So you pay 7 to put into play, you pay 7 to be able to attack with it, but if you do, it's going to get trample and become a 7/7. So that's an okay. Raging Redcap. Goblin Knight with double strike. Nice. Outmuscle. Put +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then it fights target creature you don't control. If at least 3 green mana was spent to cast this spell, the creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. If this was an instant, that would be way better, but okay, it's still alright. Prize Griffin, flying 3/4 for 5. Eye Collector, flying 1/1 for 1. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, each player puts the top card of their library into the... Damn! And Opt. Opt is always fun. Alright, well that pack definitely had to go to the first card we pulled out of it, unfortunately. Sometimes it's unfortunate that we don't know which ones are pack tricks and which ones aren't. That's the only downside to being fairly new to this. Bye, Jess. Have a good one. Last pack of the night, guys. After this, I'm going to call it quits. Nobody seemed to want an MTG code tonight, so I'll hang on to them for the next stream. Maybe somebody will want them then. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this again. I would really love to do it next weekend if possible. Like I say, I don't know what my dad's plans are, whether he's coming back or not. Filming in the living room while he's here is not a possibility at all. So streaming basically is going to be limited to when he's out of town, probably. But I'll still have all these packs left over for the next time we want to stream, and that's going to be really hard not to open those, unfortunately, but I'll do my very best. All right, let's do this Lord of the Rings pack and get you guys out of here. I have I have to say thank you so much for hanging with me throughout the night. You guys have been awesome. Can't remember if Lord of the Rings has a pack trick to it or not, so hopefully we're not spoiling anything by going this way. I do like the art card on this. I believe that's the One Ring sinking into the lava as it falls, which is pretty cool for an art card. Ooh, route. Yeah, we probably should have done the pack trick. 3 and 2 white. I'm assuming this is definitely a guess card. You can play route anytime you could play an instant. If you pay 2 more to play it, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. So it'll cost you 7 to do it at instant speed, but not bad, not bad. Again, I should have done pack trick, I guess. Didn't realize I needed to, but oh, we're not out here just yet, Snoop. Sorry. Not too late for pack trick? Do you know how many to move? This card replaces token normally? Okay, so I can move, what, 3, I think, then, or 4? Let's move 4, just to be safe. 4? Maybe move 5. Maybe move 6. Okay, these are all actually... Wait. Is blue... Blue is okay. We can show blue. Yeah, okay. We'll do this. We'll go over here, and at least the rares are saved. Thank you for the 3 would be your guess. I did 4. Oh well. One extra one won't hurt us. It might be a uncommon at the end. Cost 3 less to cast if it targets a creature that was dealt damage this turn. Destroy target creature, its controller loses 2 life. Cost 4, but solid reduction, so I'm going to say that's a pretty good one. Ranger's Firebrand. Deals 2 damage to any target, and the ring tempts you. The ring tempting mechanic is probably a lot of fun in this set. I think they did a really good job with this. I'm really, really hoping they do an amazing job with the airbender set, because I've already seen one spoiler card, and bending is definitely going to be a new mechanic in Magic. So if they do bending right, it will make that set so amazing. But if they do bending wrong, it will completely ruin that set. Alright, Rangers. Bad. See if we can get something really good. Golem's Bite. Target creature is -2/-2 until end turn. Pay 3 to black, exile this thing from your graveyard. The ring tempts you. Okay. Now for Wrath, now for Ruin. And for the Red Dawn! Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control to gain vigilance until end of turn. Definitely a solid hit. Probably the better hit so far. Greyhaven's Navigator. Flash. When this thing enters battlefield, scry 1. Okay. Nimrodel Watcher. 2/1 for 2. Whenever you scry, this thing gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked. Ah, but it only triggers once per turn. That's unfortunate. Haunt of the Dead Martians. Enters battlefield, scry 1. Return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. If you control a legendary. And it's a 1/1 for 1. It's pretty solid all around. As long as the set doesn't end up As expensive as Final Fantasy. I have a feeling it's going to be as expensive as Final Fantasy, to be perfectly honest, and that's a big reason why I didn't buy any Final Fantasy cards. I want to make sure I have enough money set aside for Avatar because I'm going to probably buy the crap out of that set. This channel is going to be at least a 2 week period of just nothing but Avatar, probably. I'm going to be doing as many of the commander decks as I feel connected to, which is probably going to be at least a couple of them. If they're going to put commander decks out, I think there's going to be, like, I don't know anything about the set yet because I didn't really look too much into spoilers. But assuming there's going to be 4 commander decks, I'm thinking I'm going to probably want to get at least 2, if not 3 of them. I got, in terms of Lord of the Rings, I got the one precon so far. I built the second precon from scratch as best I could. And I'm still trying to get my hands on the Food and Fellowship one. The only one I didn't want is the Elf voting commander deck because I'm just not fond of voting as a mechanic that much. Next, we got ourselves the mountain. Okay, here we go. These are going to be the important ones coming up. Boom. There's our route. Route is probably a decent card, I would imagine, in terms of value. Mortar Muster. Draw a card and you lose a life. A Masterworks 1. If it was an instant, it would be better, but sorcery speed, it's okay. Gimli, Mournful Avenger. Nice. Has indestructible as long as 2 or more creatures died under your control this turn. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Gimli. When its ability resolves for the 3rd time this turn, Gimli fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Interesting. So, you want to try and build what, like a red-green sacrifice deck somehow out of that? Because you want to send all your creatures to die, make him indestructible, then make sure that you get an extra one to die so that you can get him to fight. He won't die, but he'll hopefully kill whatever you've sent him to attack because he's got all these +1/+1 counters on him. They had the Food and Fellowship one at Costco for a little while. Yeah, I don't think they do anymore, unfortunately, because I did see that they've switched to Outlaws at Thunder Junction. I was going to try and get the Food and Fellowship one, but I didn't have the funds at the time, unfortunately. When they brought that one out too, that was around the time when I had my car accident, unfortunately, so I didn't really have access to get over to a Costco very easily without like taking a massive amount of bus rides and transfers and stuff. So ultimately, I did not get the Food and Fellowship one from the Costco. Then I keep an eye out on all the stores that I like though to see if they ever get it stocked, but so far no luck. And Legolas, Master Archer. Ooh, that's a good pull. Reach, whenever you cast a spell that targets Legolas Master Archer, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, he deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature. He is actually really fun to play around. And I'm probably going to put that into my mono green deck, because I already had 1 copy of this. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah. And Olifant! We end on an Olifant! Elephants are my favorite card. It's a great way to end the stream. I know it's an uncommon. I went 1 card too many in the pack trick, but still. Not the best Lord of the Rings pack I've ever pulled by any means, don't get me wrong. I've definitely pulled some really good banging Lord of the Rings packs, but I'm pretty happy with that. We got 2 legendaries out of it. We got the Olifant. We got a list card. I'm not sure whether the list card's worth anything, but still, it's always fun when we pull a list card. That Gimli could be fun with myriad cards and sacrifice altars at instant speed. Nice. Yeah, that is a good idea. Ultimately, what I wanted to build, actually, there's another version of Gimli and another version of Legolas that are based on when those 2 were fighting at Helm's Deep. And I would love it. The thing that sucks is They were clearly designed to be partner cards, but they didn't make them partner, so you can't actually play them together as a partnership. So what I need to do is I need to find a green, red, and blue commander that I actually really like to be the head of that deck, and then just whenever I to be like the token commander essentially of that deck, because whenever I can play the other two commanders, if Rule Zero lets me, I would totally do it. But yeah, that's actually the issue I ran into with the Spirit deck. I wanted the Spirit deck to be partner commanders, but I just couldn't find a red, black, and white commander that I actually liked besides Marchesa, Queen Marchesa. So, and I was already using her for a different deck. So hard to pull better Lord of the Rings packs once you've pulled Orcish Bowmaster. Yeah, and I also pulled you'll never see the video because I don't think it actually rendered, or maybe I didn't record that day, but believe it or not, Jumpstart Lord of the Rings, the white one, I pulled a one ring. It's the only one ring I've ever pulled. But I pulled it from Lord of the Rings Jumpstart. So yeah, hard to top the one ring and the Orcish Bowmaster once you pulled them. Definitely true. Alright, guys. This has been a ton of fun. And I really appreciate everybody coming out to my first stream. Um, we've definitely pulled a lot of fun cards, had a good chat tonight, got to know each other some more. Um, I will keep you posted if we have another stream. Which deck got get out of here? Which deck did you slide in? Oh, my Lord of the Ring, my One Ring. It's slotted into my. I'm not sure whether I've profiled that deck actually on here yet. I have a green and black deck. It's one of the only decks I built besides the mono blue deck that I would actually consider to be bracket 4 material. And the whole deck is built around tutoring up the ability to have a creature or an enchantment that lets me gain life whenever somebody loses life, and also put one on the field that lets me lose, that makes them lose life whenever I gain life. So I can get that infinite combo going. The commander of that deck is the Strixhaven green and black commander that whenever you gain or lose life, you can pay one, I believe it is, tap her, and then you get to put +1/+1 counters on a creature equal to the amount of life you either gained or lost based on whichever one is the greatest value. It's an insanely fun deck. In that deck, I also have uh, one of my favorite combos that isn't a game-winning combo, which is there's a green and black tree folk that has indestructible, and I equip it with this enchantment that gives it Death Touch, +1/+1 for being black, and +1/+1 for being green, and every creature that has the ability to block it has to do so. So when I swing with that creature, it just wipes people's boards. Oh, nasty. Which life loss gain cards does it run? It runs there's 2 or 3 vampires that give you life gain when somebody loses, or gives you makes them lose life when you gain, either or. So I have a bunch of those vampires. There's, like I say, 2 or 3, I think. And then there's also the 2 basic enchantments, Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood. I've actually pulled off the Sanguine Bond Exquisite Blood victory twice with that deck. I don't play that deck very often now that I've made it so powerful. It didn't used to be that powerful. It used to just basically be if I got the game winning combo, it was kind of a lucky thing. But since game changers and other stuff have happened, I just kind of leaned in hard on that deck and made it just crazy good. So there's like, I think 3 or 4 different cards in that deck that tutor. There's a bunch of cards that let me return permanents from the graveyard to my hand or put them directly onto the battlefield. And then those combo pieces. So I mean, you don't even have to get both enchantments. You could get Sanguine Bond out and one of the vampires, and that's good enough to pull off the victory. And most people don't expect the combo unless you are upfront about it during like rule zero. Like if people are asking what your deck does and stuff, you obviously be honest about it. But I mean, if everybody just goes in playing what they're playing, most people just assume that I'm trying to just gain and lose life to boost my creature's powers because of the commander. I, at some point, as some sort of milestone. Ooh, that would not be a bad idea, actually. Maybe I will make it a milestone deck. Next time I preview my blue deck, it'll probably be one of those too, because that deck is going to get some serious upgrades in the near future. I've pulled like a dozen different cards for that deck that are just going to put the draw power on that card on that deck insane. Anyways, um, I don't think I have anything else in me for you guys tonight. I'm pretty tired. Thank you again for tuning in, guys. Much love to you all from you. Take care. And tune in for Super Deck Sunday tomorrow. I will do an Outlaws of Thunder Junction deck. Either the one I was going to show you guys tonight that does sacrificing stuff, or I do have a precon that I haven't opened yet. So it'll be one or the other. I'll flip a coin or something in the morning. Um, yeah, I'm bad at ending things, so I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you again so much, guys. Snoop, Jess, Matt Cave, all you guys for tuning in. It really means a lot to me. All right. Night.